Hello everyone. Today we're talking about managing student behavior. We're looking at element 2D and we're talking about the basic level. When it comes to misbehavior, the atmosphere in the classroom is businesslike and productive without being authoritarian. I've seen teachers get right in the face of children, eye to eye, much like they would confront a bad dog. And it's not a pretty sight. It's just not the way to be businesslike and productive. If you wouldn't correct the child that way in front of the parents, why would you even do it anytime at all? The distinguished teacher is proactive and preventive. They look at these children that they may have on their radar as a possible disruptor, and they have a plan. In fact, at the beginning of the year, they have a team huddle, and they make the rules of how they behave in the classroom, and letting the children participate in that is a great way to get a distinguished rating if you can show that the children helped make the classroom rules. The distinguished teacher has eyes in the back of their heads, and what are they looking for? They're not looking for bad behavior. They are looking for positive behavior, and they reinforce it. It's just easy for a distinguished teacher because they do these kinds of things ahead of time, and they get what they look for. They correct children while respecting children. They maintain the child's dignity and don't demean him in any way. In fact, they never have acrimony or resentment towards a student for something that they have done. They don't talk to other teachers about what a child did, and in a way that would be negative. They're always looking for the positive. They are looking for ideas on how to work with kids, but they never have the idea in their mind of getting even or getting back at kids. Fairness is a big thing with all of our students, and if you're not fair, the kids will point that out immediately. One key that you might look for during your evaluation is this fact, and that is that the absence of misbehavior is evidence of good teaching. So do that in a positive way and you'll be fine. Today we're talking about classroom procedures, element 2C on the proficient level. Yes, at this level, the classroom runs smoothly. The teacher is heavily involved in making sure that things run smoothly. It's just a nice running engine. In fact, the routines seem to run at a professional level. There's no jerks, no spits, no sputters. Still, the teacher is doing the bulk of the work. Use of time, everything happens on time the way it's supposed to, what you would expect out of a professional teacher. Instructional groups, excellent use of instructional groups. The main difference between this and distinguished is at the distinguished level, the kids are involved in moving the instructional groups. If the teacher moves them and orchestrates everything and has to be there for it to work, then it's professional. Transition, things run smoothly. They move orderly from one activity to another. If the kids are involved in seeing that happens, it's distinguished. If the teacher has to orchestrate that in order for it to happen, and it happens smoothly, then that is proficient. So, with materials and supplies, if the teacher is passing out all the materials and supplies, it's proficient. If the kids are heavily involved in that, it's distinguished. The non-instructional use, a lot of times the teachers are the only ones that can do that, but it still happens as part of the overall process to make sure that the engine is working the way it's supposed to. Today we're talking about classroom procedures, and we're looking at it at the basic level. What the ideal is that it runs like a smooth machine, but what happens with the basic level teacher is they either do not have the skills yet to have the engine be timed that way, or they're new to their profession. So smooth, it's not so smooth. There's lots of hiccups, things like that. So it should be remembered that they will get there, but it's just not as smooth as it should be. The routines are a little bit jerky, kind of hit and miss. Use of time. Some lessons run too long, some lessons run too short, but again, this is due to either lack of skill or lack of time on the job, on the profession. Use of instructional groups, that can, if it's not running smoothly, like it does at the proficient or the distinguished level, it's obvious. There's kids wandering around, kids not on task, the instructional groups, things just don't move well. Transitions, they're hit or miss, they're awkward, there are lots of loss of time. In the proficient or the distinguished level, they're on cruise control, but with the basic teacher, the cruise control hasn't been installed yet. They just haven't been in the business long enough, or it's just awkward. So if the kids are involved in handing out the materials and supplies, that's either proficient or distinguished. But if the teacher has to do all the heavy lifting with materials and supplies, that is basic. So, non-instructional duties, the basic level teacher, because they're a little disorganized, hit and miss, they're trying hard, but a lot of these duties don't get done on time. So if that's not being done, usually the building principal or the parents or somebody knows about it because grades aren't being put in on time. Today we're talking about classroom procedures, and we're looking at the unsatisfactory level. The classroom does not run like a smooth machine in this area. There's just too many problems. Either the timing belt is off, the spark plugs don't fire. It's just obvious that the classroom runs sluggishly. It is everything but smooth. They are not smooth operators. There's backfires. There's clanging in the engine. It just doesn't seem to even get started sometimes. The use of time, either it's way too long or way too short, or they're late for different things. The use of time is just a problem. Maybe the groups are too long or too short in the time that they're together. Again, the instructional groups, things just don't click the way they're supposed to. The world stands still when it comes to transitions. They're just awkward. It just doesn't happen the way it's supposed to. It's everything but cruise control. Or if it is, they're asleep and it runs off the road. Just not running well. The materials and supplies, sometimes they get handed out, or it comes time to hand them out and there's not enough of them and they have to run down and get more printed off. Things just don't click the way they're supposed to. The non-instructional duties, grades don't get put in on time, report cards don't get printed off on time, lunch counts don't get in. All these non-instructional duties don't happen the way they're supposed to. So if you have any questions on this, let us help you build the skills that you need. Give us a call or talk to your building administrator. I'm Scott Shirley from Madison School District. Bye now.